Apparently, the one thing that is holding up the Frenkie De Jong to Manchester United transfer is the fact that Frenkie De Jong does not want to come to Manchester United. And this is according to some reliable sources. But ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you that that is bullshit. Now, before we get into a closer look of the Frenkie De Jong to Manchester United transfer saga, I just want to put two facts on the table before we get started because they are extremely relevant to everything that I'm going to say after this. Now, the first fact is that this is not Ed Woodward Manchester United. Richard Arnold is not involved in transfers. The Glazers are not involved in transfers. They just sign on the fee. John Murtho and Erik Ten Hag are the main drivers behind the decisions that we make in the transfer market. That's fact number one. Fact number two is that 2 weeks ago, Manchester United and Barcelona agreed on a guaranteed fee of £56 million with £17 million in add-ons to be discussed. 2 days ago, or yesterday, I think, a fee of £72 million, or the whole package, including the guaranteed fee and the bonuses, the add-ons, has also been agreed. This means that there is a lot of truth behind this Frenkie De Jong transfer, and that this transfer is actually going somewhere. Now, before we look into what is holding up this transfer of Frenkie De Jong to Manchester United, let me just ask you one simple question. Just one simple question. It doesn't matter if you're a Manchester United fan or a Barcelona fan or a neutral who just stumbled upon my video. Just please be honest with yourselves and just think this through. Do you seriously, honestly think that Erik Ten Hag and John Murtho would pursue Frenkie De Jong for this long, nearly 2 months, if they did not know for sure that he wanted to come to Manchester United? The proof is in the pudding. This is the canary in the coal mine. Frenkie De Jong wants to come to Manchester United. How do I know that? Logic, reason. Manchester United, and especially John Murtho and Erik Ten Hag, would not be foolish as to pursue a deal for Frenkie De Jong, who is seen as our priority, if they did not know that Frenkie De Jong was open to come to Manchester United. Voila. The channels of communication between the Frenkie De Jong camp and Manchester United are aplenty. Guys, he owes his career to Erik Ten Hag. They know each other very, very well. Erik Ten Hag has his WhatsApp and his personal phone number. Do you seriously think, come on guys, do you think that Erik Ten Hag has no idea what Frenkie De Jong's stance is on this transfer? The moment Erik Ten Hag knew he was going to be the next Manchester United manager, he started making a plan. Every evening, even though he said he was focused on Ajax end of the season, don't be too naive. Every evening, he analyzed footage of Manchester United. He thought of potential targets and potential solutions to the problems. He identified Frenkie De Jong as a potential target. Don't you think he called him? Talked to him? Hey, what's up, Frenkie? I'm going to be the next Manchester United manager. I would love to see you there. What do you think? I'm sure that Frenkie De Jong didn't give a straight no, didn't give a straight yes, but it was like more, okay, let's talk to the agent. And then over the next few weeks, the picture became clearer. But what you have to understand is that Erik Ten Hag knows exactly where Frenkie De Jong stands on this issue. Do you really think that Erik Ten Hag is calling Frenkie De Jong, hey, Frenkie, want to come to Manchester United? And Frankie's like, oh, no, boss, I don't want to play Thursday nights in your shitty club. Come on, guys. The reason Manchester United are pushing for a transfer for Frenkie De Jong is that he wants to come to Manchester United. Also, his agent is also the agent of Tyrell Malacia, of Victor Lindelof, Donny van de Beek. So he's often seen in our London offices. So yeah, he knows the club. He recommends players to the club constantly. The club asks him about the availability of his players constantly. They know each other very well. Don't you think he has an idea of the terms that Manchester United can offer Frenkie De Jong? Don't you think he has given some sort of verbal agreement to those terms? Guys, don't be naive. This is big business. Manchester United are not going to put all their eggs in the Frenkie De Jong basket if they did not know for sure that Frenkie De Jong wanted to come to Manchester United. So what is holding up the deal? Well, what you have to understand is that Barcelona still owes Frenkie De Jong £17 million in wages. That's because during the pandemic, they could not pay some of their players the agreed amounts on the contracts. And so basically they told some of their key players, listen, we're going to pay you less these 2 years and then we're going to give it back to you at a later date. So Frenkie De Jong and his agent are waiting for Barcelona to repay the debt that they owe them, right? So £17 million. Now, why is this important? Is because Frenkie De Jong and his agent cannot publicly show that they are interested in a move to Manchester United, because the moment they agree to anything that Manchester United has to offer. They have to say bye-bye to those 17 million pounds. And there are a lot of people who say, well, you know, if he really wanted to join Manchester United, he could just say F off to those 17 million pounds and come to Old Trafford. Really? Really? How many people do you know are going to walk away from 17 million pounds on the table? Also, bear in mind that his agent most likely gets a cut from anything that Frenkie De Jong makes. So maybe he has 2 or 3 million on the table as well in that 17 million pounds. And then there are certain Manchester United fans who are saying, well, you know what? If we really want to show intent in the transfer market, we should just pay that 17 million pounds. This would be a disaster. It would set a precedent, a very dangerous precedent. Now, our reputation in the transfer market over the past 9 years is already shattered. Every club thinks that they can mug us, right? Now, if you start paying 17 million pounds that another club owes a player that you are interested in, every single club in Europe, the moment we move in for one of their players, they are going to try to shift some financial liability to us. You can be certain of that. So no, out of principle, Manchester United are not entertaining this option, and I support that. Even if it means getting Frenkie De Jong on deadline day, because I believe that it's the right thing to do. So basically now, Manchester United and Barcelona have an agreement. They have agreed a 72 million pound package. Personal terms between Frenkie De Jong and Manchester United, even though publicly, what I mean by publicly is not only a statement whenever there is a mic in front of him, but also what they leak out to the press. They cannot say that they have agreed anything with Manchester United because it would be game over for those 17 million pounds. But you can be sure that it would not be problematic. Manchester United have the financial resources to pay him, unlike Barcelona want him to have to cut off his wages, and they don't want to pay him what they owe him. Right? So the breakthrough in this transfer is going to be how Manchester United and Barcelona reach an agreement on that 17 million pounds that they owe him. It's not fair on Frenkie De Jong to just say, fuck it, I'm not going to take that. And it's not fair on Manchester United to pay it. So that means there needs to be some sort of compromise there. Either Barcelona pay it completely, or they reach a compromise of, let's say, 10 to 12 million pounds that they just pay through negotiations with his agent. But that's the sticking point right there. It's not the fact that Frenkie De Jong does not want to come. Frenkie De Jong wants to come. Manchester United are still a big club. Manchester United fans, never forget which team you support. Manchester United. So please, don't forget, this is a huge club, and Frenkie De Jong knows that, and he gets to link up with Erik Ten Hag. So this is what I think about the Frenkie De Jong saga. The breakthrough is going to be reached once they negotiate the money that Barcelona owes him. And then after that, he's going to be a Manchester United sign-in. Don't believe whatever the other sources or whatever other reliable sources are saying about him not wanting to come to Manchester United. That's just bullcrap, because the alternative is scary. Can you imagine if he said no to Manchester United and we are still pursuing a deal for him? What are we, clowns? No way in hell is that what's happening. What's happening is that he wants to come to Manchester United. That's why Manchester United are pushing for a deal. So anyway, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and please just let me know, what do you think about this Frenkie De Jong saga? Do you think we should go for an alternative? I personally disagree, but please feel free to let us know what you think, and stick around for the next video. Cheers.